Welcome to part 2 on the functional locations module tutorial for Comma CMMS. On this video we will address the input of functional locations, starting on the design of your functional location structure all the way to the input of those functional locations onto Comma CMMS. There's a variety of ways you can do it. We'll see them all. There's also some properties and some information, some extra information that you can add onto each functional location that you upload to the system or that you add to the system. We are also going through all of that. Before we proceed, just a note to keep it simple. Keep it simple, and that means basically not too many vertical levels. That means do not go way down onto the possible slots of functional locations from level 0 to level 7. Stop at the most on level 5, but better to stop at level 4. Don't spread out your functional locations structure too deep, because most likely you will regret it in the future when you have to access the system, and the way that the system works, you'll have to open up connections between the children levels with the parent levels, and if you have a very long structure, vertical structure, then that will take you time. About the same concept applies also on the horizontal amount of items. That means the amount of items under a parent functional location. So say if you have a parent functional location on level 0, then you have 150 items under that parent functional location. This is not going to be feasible. You can, the system will not stop you from doing that, but it's just not efficient from a point of view, from usage of the system point of view. So rule of thumb, do not use more than 10 components on the same level under the same parent item. So as an example, this is what we are going to input in the system. It is level 4 deep structure. It starts at the plant. The plant is not technically part of the functional location, but in fact the way that the system is built, you can have multiple plants under one organization, and each of the plants has or can have an independent functional location structure, such as the one that we have here now. So we are not going to address the case of a multi-plant organization, because it's also it's the same. Basically what we are going to learn here applies also for a multi-plant organization. You just do it again and again for as many plants as your organization has. So this is the structure we're going to use, as I said, and to remember to go back to what I said on the previous point here. Do not go too low on the vertical levels. Do not add a lot of items. See here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total items under one system on level 3. So on level 4 I have a total, like a maximum of 6 under each system that is specified here, system A, B, and C. So this is a good way. You can go down to level 5, but this is usually enough. So let's proceed then with inputting this information onto Comma CMMS. The first thing you need to do is go to the functional locations browser, which you access by selecting assets and then functional locations. In here you are shown basically a list that is no more than an implementation of your structure, or actually the bare bones for the implementation of your structure. Starts with the plant, so we'll do the plant A, which is what is generated by the system on registration. I'm not going to change, this is only an example, so I'm not going to change anything. And because we are working on adding level 0 items, we need to start from the top. We will have to go to the add button or to the add link here on the level you are adding items to. So in this case we will add the following levels: building, machinery, and others onto level 0. Because we don't have that many, we will add them one by one. So we'll learn how to do the adding of items one by one. So the first thing we do then is to click the add link. There are two options up here. You have the batch upload wizard, which we will do later, and we have the add one by one. The only two items that are absolutely required when you add a functional location is the code and the description. So let's start by doing building. So the code is limited to 5 characters, so I stopped there, and this is whatever description you'd like to add with a maximum of 40 characters. The legacy code is for codes that you had pre-existing, or if you have another coding system that you use and you don't want to use CMMS's codes. Or well, you still use them, but you can also search by your own codes. The starting counter values, the picture links. This is a link to a picture that is that would then be assigned to this functional location. To save server space, you need to include an external picture and a link to an external picture. The way to do it so that you don't fetch images just from the internet is to do a Dropbox account, for example, or a Google Drive account, and then put the pictures in there and then link to that section of Dropbox from here. So the system will collect information from Dropbox and show it in your installation. Then you can select a responsible user. In this case, I have only one user in this installation, but if you had more, then, and depending on your permissions, you'll see all the users that you have in the system, and you can select one. So I'll do that for me now. And then we'll go later to assignment options and also to the physical locations of functional locations. I know, a little bit strange and weird and maybe difficult, but I think this will get a little bit more clear soon. So our minimum information has been added, so I will just save. The system will confirm that it has successfully generated the functional location, and then it will ask me if I want to add items under this newly created functional location, or if I want to do or if I want to add another one under the same level. So I will proceed the same way for the other two items, and we'll take a look and see how that looks after I'm done. So I have now finished adding items under level 0. As you can see, there's 3 items here now. So if we choose plant A, then this is going to change to, instead of choose above, it's going to show me choose functional location, and then if I click in there you have it. You have the 3 items that were added, showing only the code, and that's why the code is important in here. Of course, if there is some doubt about what the code means, you can always come over here and it will tell you, or it will write the description next to it. So we have building, main building, we have production machinery, and we have other items. So now for level 1 we will just proceed the same way. So instead of course adding items on level 0, I will find the machinery level 0 and then add 2 items under it. So the way to do that is to select the machinery item on level 0 and then go 1 level below it and repeat the process that was done for the adding of these 3 items. Click add and then add the 2 items. So until now I finished adding items until level 1. So we would have plant A, machinery, production line 1 and production line 2. Let's just verify that. So we have plant A, machinery, production machinery, and then under here is production line 1 and production line 2. So now we are going on to level 2 here. So we'll have to add machine A and machine B under production line 1. However, at this level I think it's a good point to do some examples, some extra examples on other information that you can add onto a functional location. So we'll do that for machine A, for example. We'll go through the physical locations or setting up physical locations for the overall system and then assigning them to machine A. We will upload an image and we'll upload a document to machine A, which can be, as an example, a data sheet of the way the machine A operates, for example.